Tran. I'm a patent attorney at Patent PC, and today I'd like to share with you the impact of IP on business success. I was lucky enough to be a patent attorney at a big law firm until a startup called Align Technology came to my door and asked me to do a patent application. That's when I truly saw the value of a great patent protection for startups. So the company was started by Zia Chishti, who led the company from his days at Stanford. As an MBA student, he wrote a paper on the ability to move teeth using retainers, and he convinced his fellow Stanford graduate to join him on the quest. He ultimately raised funding through Kleiner Perkins, $5 million seed, and that's when I was invited to join the company to architect and build a great patent portfolio to protect the company. So the company went through a series of raises, Series A, B, C, and they developed a bunch of different technologies. In the year 2000, that company was the largest 3D printed manufacturer in the world. They scan in the teeth, a patient's teeth. At the time, we use impression. We take the impression and then we create 3D models out of that. And then from the 3D model, then it goes into a computer-aided design system, or CAD, that would model the teeth so that a dental professional, a technician, could then stage the teeth movement. Teeth can be moved at a certain maximum amount of movement a month. And so there are clinical restrictions on how fast those movements could be done. And also there were tools that needed to be developed so that you can show how each tooth would be manipulated into the right position from starting point to a destination point. So they had great scanning technology, they had great computer-aided modeling technology, and then they also had to have a staging system. And then ultimately that information is then provided to a 3D fabrication system that makes the positive of each particular stage. And then at the end, when you have the positive, you would slam a plastic on top of that to create a retainer at each particular stage of movement. And of course, these retainers had to be sequenced correctly. So you couldn't just use number 1 and then number 5 and then switch back to number 3. That, of course, wouldn't do the treatment correctly. So one of the things that I remember was that we had a patent that you can't put a sequence indication onto the series of retainer. And that simple idea turned out to be very powerful because it blocked an entire group of competitors from entering. They could do all of this manually without using computer technology, but if you can't put a sequence indication on the aligners, then it'll be useless for treatment. So that's an example of the impact of IP on business success. Of course, Invisalign went public in the year 2000 and by now is a well-known brand. It's a very famous brand, and I'm glad to have been a part of that journey. So if you have any more questions on how patent strategies could be used to enhance a business objective, please come and visit us at patentpc.com. Thank you.